There's a part of you that no one sees, a part hidden deep in the shadows of your mind. It's silent, yet it influences every thought, every decision, every emotion you feel. Have you ever wondered why sometimes you act in ways you don't understand? Why certain fears, anger, or sadness appear out of nowhere? The answer may lie in the shadow, the part of yourself you've never fully acknowledged. Today, we're stepping into that hidden world. This isn't about theory. This is about exploring the corners of your unconscious mind, where every unspoken thought, every hidden desire, and every suppressed emotion lives. If you stay with me, you'll see yourself in a way you never have before, because once you meet your shadow, nothing will ever feel the same. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the hidden part of the psyche that contains everything we refuse to accept about ourselves. Your shadow holds your fears, your insecurities, the impulses you push away, the emotions you refuse to feel. It's the part of you that whispers, "I am here," when you least expect it, in moments of anger, jealousy, or regret. Everyone has a shadow. Some are small, some are large, but no matter the size, it shapes your reality, and yet most people live their lives completely unaware of it. The shadow isn't evil. It isn't something to be ashamed of. It is simply the parts of ourselves that we deny, the parts we hide from the world, and sometimes even from ourselves. From childhood, we are taught to hide parts of ourselves. Don't cry, don't be selfish, don't be angry. Every time we ignore or suppress a feeling, it retreats into the shadow. Society, family, and personal experiences constantly shape what we hide. Trauma, rejection, or even simple misunderstandings can carve new corners in the shadow. Every time we deny a part of ourselves, it retreats. And over the years, this hidden self grows quietly, influencing every decision we make without us even realizing it. The shadow is like a silent passenger in your mind, observing, waiting, and occasionally nudging you in ways you don't understand. How can you know if your shadow is influencing you? Look at your triggers, the things that make you react strongly, the moments when you feel irrational anger, envy, or fear. These are clues. Projection is another sign. When we criticize or judge others harshly, it is often a reflection of what we refuse to see in ourselves. Every harsh word, every instant reaction is a mirror showing a piece of the shadow. Understanding these patterns is not easy. Shadows are masters of disguise. They hide behind habits, routines, even relationships. But once you start noticing, the shadow begins to reveal itself. This is only the beginning. What you've seen so far is the surface, the first glimpse into the hidden world of your psyche. Deeper layers, darker corners, and unseen influences lie waiting. The shadow is not something to fear. It's a part of you waiting to be acknowledged. And the more you notice it, the more it reveals the truth about who you really are. The shadow doesn't stay hidden in some distant corner of your mind. It shows up in your daily life, often when you least expect it. In relationships, it whispers through jealousy, resentment, or sudden frustration. You might react to someone's words or actions far more strongly than you think you should. That reaction isn't always about them. It's about the shadow inside you reflecting its presence. At work, the shadow can influence your choices, your ambition, and your interactions. The fear of failure, the need for approval, or the urge to compete, all can stem from parts of yourself you've suppressed, hidden deep inside. Emotions are the language of the shadow. Fear, anger, shame, guilt, envy, they all carry the voice of what you haven't fully acknowledged. When anger rises uncontrollably, or sadness lingers without reason, the shadow is speaking. It's reminding you that something inside needs recognition. Every emotion has a source, and often the shadow holds the key to understanding it. The more you observe these feelings without judgment, the more the shadow slowly begins to reveal itself. The shadow exists in the unconscious, operating quietly. It's like a hidden river flowing beneath the surface of your awareness, shaping the landscape of your thoughts. Sometimes it pushes you to make choices that seem irrational, or it creates patterns you can't explain. Repeated mistakes, recurring fears, or constant dissatisfaction. These are echoes of the shadow. Your mind has been carrying this silent companion for years. The more you notice its influence, the more you start seeing the unseen connections between your thoughts, actions, and emotions. The shadow often manifests in recognizable forms, what Jung called archetypes. These are patterns of energy and behavior we see repeatedly in ourselves and others. There's the dark hero who struggles with inner conflict but hides strength. The trickster who misleads or distracts, often masking inner pain. The rebel, pushing against authority, concealing fear of failure. And the victim, who feels powerless, hiding resilience beneath. Recognizing these archetypes in yourself is not about labeling or judging. It's about understanding the shapes your shadow can take and how it influences your life. By now, you've seen the shadow in action. In emotions, thoughts, and daily patterns, you've begun to notice its influence, even if subtly. But this is still just the beginning. There are deeper layers, hidden motivations, and unseen influences that the shadow carries. Exploring these will take courage and attention, but the reward is a clearer, more honest view of yourself. The shadow often speaks in subtle ways, through triggers and recurring patterns. Have you noticed how certain people, situations, or even words provoke strong reactions inside you? That is the shadow showing its presence. These reactions are not random. They are echoes of what you have hidden or suppressed. A harsh word from someone might ignite anger or shame, not because of what they said, but because it resonates with an unacknowledged part of yourself. Patterns in your life, repeated mistakes, recurring conflicts, or familiar disappointments are all guided by the shadow. It quietly shapes your choices, steering you toward situations that reflect the parts of yourself you haven't faced. In relationships, the shadow is never silent. It can cause misunderstandings, unexpected arguments, or emotional distance. Sometimes, the people who irritate you the most are mirrors, reflecting back the shadow you refuse to see in yourself. We often project our hidden fears, desires, or insecurities onto others. When someone behaves in a way that triggers strong emotion, it is rarely about them. It is the shadow speaking through you. Recognizing these projections is the first step towards seeing the shadow clearly. Dreams are another doorway into the shadow. The images, symbols, and scenarios that appear in your dreams are often reflections of your unconscious mind. Nightmares, strange coincidences, or repeated dream themes can reveal aspects of the shadow that you've been avoiding. Paying attention to dreams isn't about interpretation alone. It's about noticing patterns, symbols, and recurring emotions. Your unconscious is always trying to communicate, and the shadow is its voice. Beyond simple recognition, the shadow can appear as specific archetypes that influence your behavior. The saboteur, that part of you that undermines your own efforts. The critic, the voice that tells you you're not enough. The victim, the part that feels powerless or helpless, even when strength is within reach. The rebel, the energy that resists control, masking fear or insecurity. These archetypes are not enemies. They are fragments of yourself seeking acknowledgement. When you see them clearly, the shadow begins to lose its silent power over you. Recognizing triggers, patterns, and archetypes is the gateway into deeper understanding. The shadow is no longer just a hidden passenger. It becomes a guide, showing you where your unconscious mind has been shaping your life. This journey is not simple. The shadow resists being seen, but each moment of recognition, each subtle insight, is a step closer to understanding yourself fully. And the deeper you go, the more powerful your understanding becomes. Integration doesn't mean eliminating the shadow. It doesn't mean trying to erase the parts of yourself you've hidden. True integration means acknowledgement, seeing these hidden parts clearly and understanding their influence. The shadow contains energy, Suppressed emotions, desires, and fears are not lost, they are waiting. When ignored, they control your decisions silently. When acknowledged, they can be transformed into insight, creativity, and personal power. Integration begins with observation. Notice your reactions without judgment. Notice the moments when fear, anger, or jealousy arises. These are the doors into the shadow, the points where it can finally reveal itself. Emotions are the language of the shadow. When you feel anger, shame, or envy, it's not about being weak, it's the shadow trying to speak. Emotional mastery is not about suppression, it's about recognition. Every strong reaction, every sudden fear or wave of sadness is an invitation. It's the shadow asking you to see what you've hidden, what you've denied, and what you've avoided. The more you pay attention, the more your emotions transform from chaotic forces into clear messages from your inner self. Reflection is key. Journaling, meditation, or even quiet moments of thought allow the shadow to surface in safe ways. By examining recurring thoughts, patterns, and emotional reactions, you begin to notice the pieces of yourself that have been hidden. Self-reflection reveals the shadow, not as something separate, but as part of the whole. It's a mirror reflecting the parts of you you've avoided. And as you see them clearly, you begin to understand your true motivations, fears, and desires. The shadow is not your enemy. It's a silent guide, showing you what you need to face. It points to areas where growth is possible, where creativity waits, and where hidden strength lies. Every challenge, every uncomfortable emotion, every trigger is an opportunity. The shadow guides you to a deeper, more authentic understanding of yourself. It asks you to confront what you've ignored and embrace the parts of you that have been waiting in silence. Integration is a journey, not a destination. The shadow will always exist, but each step toward recognition brings clarity, insight, and strength. By acknowledging the shadow, observing its influence, and reflecting on its messages, you transform its silent power into conscious understanding. And with that understanding comes a deeper connection with yourself, a clearer perception of your life, and a path toward authentic wholeness.